Hi guys, I hope you're all well and safe, and ideally this is not how I wanted to be sharing this information with you, but this is what we're doing for this semester, so here we go. Tonight we need to talk about the ideal review process so that you can vet your own district's process against it. The ideal process, as you can see on slide 6, is to really begin the spring prior to when you actually want to adopt. So that's about 18 months out from when you make the change as a district. In that spring, you should come together. You should start writing curriculum maps or syllabus revisions and take time to really look at the new standards if there are some, unpack the standards and vet them accordingly. All of the curriculum maps and syllabus need to be drafted and written prior to looking at any tools or any curriculum products. You can, of course, start with curriculum maps and opportunities that you already have written. In some cases, it's a matter of revising and not just working from nothing, but when you have a standards change, it is starting from a blank slate. You should communicate with staff as the curriculum director that you need to start with a blank template, and it needs to be a district approved template to write the standards, the essential questions, and the possible resources for learning. Of course, you can use the UBD and go through stages 1, 2, and 3 for your units of study or many other templates, as long as assessment, content, objectives, and resources are all listed on whatever template you choose. All of those should be drafted throughout the spring, again, 18 months before adoption, and move into the summer and possibly in the fall. Typically, those templates are done with students' needs in mind and standards, and not necessarily the product, the curriculum, the textbook, or the teacher's needs. Once all of those are done, you can approve those through the Board of Education. Ideally, that is done within the December or January meeting, where they look at first the curriculum maps and syllabus, and then they make approval of that before you actually start vetting tools. Around December, you want to start bringing in different vendors to show you tools that will meet the needs of the syllabus and unit templates that you have just created. The vendors should always be given your unit templates ahead of time so that they can articulate to your staff how specifically their products meet your needs. You should not look at products before you have those templates, because otherwise you're sold by the shiny new thing or the fun stuff that the vendors show you instead of focusing on the standards and the outcomes for learning you want for students. Once you have identified tools through those vendor meetings, you can choose to pilot them, try them, show them to students, but ultimately you want to come to a decision in later February or March, or at the latest April, a year after you've started the process of mapping the unit templates. You propose that to the Board of Education. All of the tools do have to be approved by the board and then put on public display per school code for 30 days. And it's 30 school days. And so you put all the materials on display. Anyone in the community can come and look at the tools, share their concerns, share their celebrations if they choose to. And then once you've had it on public display, if there are no issues, you can go ahead and prepare professional development for the spring or summer prior to the fall for implementing, or go ahead and put it in your budget to purchase those materials. New purchases are typically done July 1st of a new school year, and professional development can be done right before that or right after that, typically in the summer and the fall. In the fall, then, the staff will have the tools and the unit maps or syllabus in order to start preparing and implementing for the next school year. Again, one curriculum review cycle for one content area should last about 18 months, starting in the spring, where you're mapping learning objectives and unit plans first, going through the winter, where you finally get into identifying tools, and then again, late winter and spring is when the Board of Education approves it, so you as the curriculum director can purchase the materials in that summer and start to train staff. So now that you know the ideal based on research and educational practice, it's time for you to really decide and vet how does that compare to what your district does. So think about that, and on the next slide, you'll have a little bit of a reflection activity. I miss you guys like crazy. I wish we could be face-to-face. It's a much more engaging class when we get to hang out together. I apologize for this semester, and hopefully we can make it through. Bye, guys.